children. I'm going to read you a story. This one's a lovely little story called Rindercella. Are you ready? Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Rindercella who lived with her gricker grandmother and two sugly sisters.
Now Rindercella and her sugly sisters lived in a large mansion. Rindercella worked very hard every day, rubbing slaws, emptying pospits and shivelling shot.
At the end of the day, she was knocking fackers. The sugly sisters were right bugly bastards. One was called Mary Hinge and the other was called Betty Swallocks. They were really horrible huckers, with fetty sweet and fetty swannies. The sugly sisters had tickets to go to the ball, but the bottom rastards wouldn't let Rindercella go. Rindercella felt mucking miserable. Buttons, her only friend, wasn't talking to her at the moment because she wouldn't cook his sock and he had the hump.
Suddenly there was a bucking fang and Rindercella's Gary Fodmother appeared. Her name was Sherry Hithole and she was a light rucking thespian.
She turned a pumpkin and 6 mite mice into a hucking huge carriage with 6 dandy wonkies who had huge hollocks and big bigs. "It's a mucking miracle!" cried Rindercella. The Gary Fodmother told Rindercella to be back by dinner, otherwise there would be a cucking calamity. At the ball, Rindercella was dancing with the Prancing Hints, who had been there since 8 o'clock and was fisted apart. He whispered in Rindercella's ear, "Do you fancy a fag?"
Suddenly the clock struck 12. "My stall chucking frighty," said Rindercella, as she ran out tripping bass over ollocks and so dropping her slask glipper. The Prancing Hint shouted, "Bum cack, bum cack!" But Rindercella had gone.
The Prancing Hints found this last glipper and said, "Whoever this glipper sits, I shall marry." Next day the Prancing Hints knocked on Rindercella's door and the sugly sisters let him in. Betty Swallocks was so surprised to see the Prancing Hints, she lifted her leg and let go a fig part. "Corn fee, who's first jarted?" asked the Prancing Hints. "Blame that fugly yucker over there," said Mary Hinge.
When the cloud had lifted, the Prancing Hints tried on the slask glipper on both sugly isters without success, and their feet stuck in funk.
Betty Swallocks was ducking disgusted and gave the Prancing Hints a knack in the kickers. This wasn't difficult, as he had bucking few jaws and a hig bardon. The Prancing Hints then tried the slask glipper on Rindercella, and it fitted bucking perfectly. Rindercella was so happy, she got down on no bees and gave him a long joe blob.
Rindercella and the Prancing Hints were married.
The Prancing Hints lived his life in lucking luxury, and Rindercella lived hers with 8 children and a phone swing. If you enjoyed our silly story, please give a donation to Comic Relief on our behalf, and then we'll know we did our bit and you did your bit too. Thank you. Bye bye.